Are you trying to figure out the 6D pose of your object? Do you want to control a robot arm to grasp objects or create an AR application? With the rapid development in AI, it is now possible to solve the 6D pose estimation problem without any markers. In this video, I'll be going over what is 6D pose estimation, how does EfficientPose work, how does FoundationPose work, 6D pose datasets, real-time 6D pose estimation with EfficientPose, go over some FoundationPose demos. If you want to learn more AI and machine learning, check out my website at kevinwoodrobotics.com. Email me for my free code used in this video at kevinwoodrobotics@gmail.com. So what is 6D pose estimation? 6D pose estimation is used to find the location and orientation of an object given the RGB or RGBD image of the scene. So the location is a position or translation vector typically described by the XYZ vector, and your orientation can be described with rotation matrix, axis angle representation, the quaternions, or Euler angles. So imagine if you have a world frame described by some XYZ axis, then you'll have a vector that's your translation vector to your object frame, and all the axes for the object frame will describe the orientation of your object. So here you see the Rodriguez rotation formulation. So typically what you'll do is you'll have some vector v, and then when you have this vector v, the idea is you could break up this vector into its components. You'll have a parallel component and then a perpendicular component. Then you can actually rotate the vector by some angle theta, and that will give you your v rotation. So you can also express it with rotation matrices. We have our Rx, Ry, and Rz. And then to really combine the two, what we have is here is a formulation to combine everything. And the main formula that we care about is the bottom, which will combine the Rodriguez as well as the rotation matrix if you want to go between the two expressions. So how does EfficientPose work? So most methods split 6D pose estimation into two parts. You have the first part, which is 2D object detection. And then you have the second part, which is solve for 6D pose using PNP algorithm. So EfficientPose combines the two steps and does the 2D object detection and finds the translation and orientation at the same time. So they do this by adding two more subnetworks to the efficient detection model for 2D object detection architecture, which makes it much faster. Okay, so now let's take a look at the EfficientPose architecture. You can see here that we have a subnetwork, and inside of this subnetwork, one of the main things I want to point out is that they have the rotation net and translation net. So it's actually running some of these calculations in parallel with the class and box net detections. So the rotation and translation architecture, if we take a deeper look, you can see that here we have the initial regression, and then on the right we have the iterative refinement. So these refinement modules, if we take a closer look, what's happening in here is that there's actually a bunch of convolution architectures that's stacked up over on top of each other to do the refinement. So how does FoundationPose work? If we take a look at the architecture here, you can see that the general flow of the data is on the left. We have the model-free reference images, and then on the bottom, we have the textured CAD model. So the idea is we could switch between the two depending on which input we want. And then on the right, the output is we could either get the pose estimation or we could get the pose tracking. So if we take a look at this diagram, you can see that there's four components to this. We have the model-based tracking, model-free estimation, model-free tracking, and model-based estimation. So the idea is that with FoundationPose, it's actually good at all four of these things, whereas the other models is only good at some, usually only one of these things. So if we take a look at the architecture for the synthetic data training part, you can see that the idea of this is we have ChatGPT combined with like the diffusion model to get a final output of some like 3D model that you could use, and it gets passed into the physics engine with some path tracing, and then this will give a realistic rendering of your model. So if we take a look at the next part, we see that here we start off with the neural unknown object modeling. So the idea of this is you have a bunch of images from different scenes, kind of like NERF, and then you create a 3D model. And then once you have that, you pass it into this pose hypothesis generation of encoders and transformer architectures to give you an estimate of your pose that you think your object is in. So now we go to the pose selection. So the idea is you might have a bunch of candidates, but you want to pick the best one. So what's going to end up happening is you're going to go through a bunch of encoders, some self-attention networks, and then finally rank the best to worst as your final pose estimation of your object. So here are some 6C Pose datasets I want to point out. So for some of these models, you can see that the line mod is one of the most common ones that's used, and sometimes it's quite limiting because the data set is pretty small, but you can see that they could augment the data set in different viewpoints by rotating it and skewing it to mimic and create more data set. It's like their augmented data sets. And then on the right here is the YCB video. This is another common data set that people use for 6D pose estimation. And if you want to find more data sets, you could check out the BOP benchmark for 6D object pose estimation. There's a bunch of other data sets that people use, but the two that I showed you would be the main ones. All right, so here you can see my real-time demo of EfficientPose. So on the left, you can see my plots of XYZ in real time, and on the right, I have a plot of the orientation as well as the detection of the bottle that I'm holding. So right now I'm using the Cocoa dataset. I modified it a little bit, but you can see that I could try to move the object back and forth a little bit, and you can see the values changing. Right now I have the frame just floating, so it's not tied to the object, but you could edit that if you want to. But you can kind of get a feel for the location of the object as I'm moving it. So specifically, if you look at the Z value, you should be able to see that changing. You can see it's increasing. So yeah, you could go ahead and play with this demo if you like and see how it works. But I would say that if you want this to work for your application, since it was trained with the line mod, you may need to retrain it for your actual data set. So this video right here was part of the clip that I showed in the beginning, but you could see that it could detect the pose of the object in real time here. And by figuring out the pose, it knows how to orient the gripper of the arm so that it could pick it up in the right orientation. So this could be very useful for general robotic manipulation tasks. So you can see that it does pretty well in placing it to the base as well. So this is the AR application that I showed earlier, but what it's doing here is it's actually overlaying this path for the ball to follow over the book, and then you can see that it can roll out like a game. So you could imagine you could apply this to any sort of gaming application that you want to overlay to things in real life. And here you can see it's another video. You can see that this is a representation of how they're rendering their scene. So you can see that the objects that it detects is very good. And typically this will be a baseline for any sort of pose estimation because you need to have a good rendering of your scene as well. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, give a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.